Okay, so I've covered most of the key elements of the tribunal process itself, the timetable and the hearing and judgment. I wanted to leave you with a few sort of overriding themes and key things to remember. The first of which is that it's important to remember that the tribunal is almost always a costs-free jurisdiction. So what I mean is that even if you successfully defend a claim which you think never had any real merit, the likelihood is you will have to meet your own costs if you incur any costs during the process. The claimant will almost never be told to pay any of your costs, even if they lose. And vice versa, if the claimant succeeds in their claim, it's very unusual for the tribunal to award them any costs from you. So you can usually assume that both parties will meet their own costs. There are some rare exceptions, but they're probably beyond the scope of this discussion now. As long as you act reasonably throughout the hearing and the preparation for the hearing, you can feel fairly confident that you won't have to meet any additional costs. If, when you get the judgment, you feel that there's something fundamentally wrong with the decision that's been taken by the tribunal, then there is an opportunity to appeal, but that is pretty limited. It's limited both in time, because you just have 42 days from the judgment itself in which to lodge an appeal, and it's also limited by the fact that you are only permitted to appeal if you feel there is an error of law. So if you think the tribunal has just not got the facts right, then there's nothing you can do about it. It's simply, the appeal process is simply there to enable you to correct a legal wrong, and again, it's pretty unusual in tribunal cases, in employment tribunal cases, to bring an appeal. But it's there as a backstop in case you feel it's necessary. As an overriding theme, as I said at the outset, it's a relatively informal process. That's not to say that it's not important to make sure that you meet every deadline that you're given and to go through the process in an organised and cooperative and reasonable way. But if you do have any issues or concerns at any point through the process, then the tribunal is generally pretty approachable. You'll be given a case officer who you can call up at any stage at the tribunal and ask any question about timing or about the process itself. Also, as a final point worth mentioning, obviously, that you do have the various options to seek external advice from places such as LawWorks, of course, and also from ACAS, who have a very good website and a helpline that you can call, as I mentioned, the tribunal service itself, or indeed from your local Citizens Advice Bureau, all of whom will be well set up to advise you and guide you through any part of the process if you feel you need some additional third-party expert input. But hopefully that is a useful summary of the key elements in the tribunal process and gives you a taster for what you can expect.